Welcome back, you Washington Football Maniacs. Today, I am your host, Brandon Scott. The Washington Commanders make a minor move for depth at linebacker position, and Sam Howell is on the move to Seattle. So, we're definitely going to talk about that and more next on Washington Football Maniacs. So, if you're not a member of Washington Football Maniacs, definitely consider join in because we have a lot of good content coming your way, man. We're getting into the nitty gritty of the free agency period, and with the NFL draft coming up. This team is definitely remaking itself to be a serious threat in the NFC East going forward. So let's get into it. Before we get into the big news of Sam Howell going to the Seattle Seahawks for draft swaps, today the Washington Commanders actually signed linebacker Anthony Pittman, a 2019 undrafted free agent who spent his entire career with the Detroit Lions. But if you add him to the mix with Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner and this, Joe Witt Jr. This is going to be a very intriguing group going forward because obviously linebacker was a kind of a place where we needed some help over the years. Dave Mayo didn't really pan out. Cody Barton didn't pan out. And Jamin Davis, obviously they're going to tinker with what he's going to do as far as attacking the quarterback a lot more this season coming up. So this linebacker group, man, definitely reinforced and is looking really, really, really good, man. Obviously, Bobby Wagner brings all pro, future Hall of Fame talent here in the DC. He's definitely going to provide leadership for the defense overall and especially for the linebacker group. But Frankie Louvu, in my opinion, is a very, very sneaky good move because he's a guy who can play inside linebacker, outside linebacker. He is a dog on the defensive end, and he's going to attack the quarterback. So when you add that with the fact that we have picked up a lot of reinforcements on the D line, and James Davis is going to have they have renewed vision as far as what his capabilities are on the defensive side of the football. Definitely intrigued to see what this defense can do. So, again, the Washington Commanders make a minor move, but depth is always a good thing. Signing linebacker Anthony Pittman, formerly of the Detroit Lions. A few Commanders are on their way out of town with Kendall Fuller agreeing to a 2-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. So, now cornerback is definitely a position group that we're going to have to really look at and add some talent to there. Obviously, St. Juice is still here. We'll see if he's going to be number 2, if he's going to be number 3. Do they find somebody to work with Emmanuel Forbes? What are the expectations for Emmanuel Forbes? So I definitely look for them to go into the draft and pick up maybe, 1, maybe 2 cornerbacks because we definitely need some help at the cornerback position. So let's get into the highlight of the day. Sam Howell, formerly the former starting quarterback for the Washington Commanders last year. He is on his way out of town. The Washington Commanders have dealt Sam Howell to the Seattle Seahawks for or alongside 4th round and 6th round picks numbers 102, 179 to Seattle in exchange for a 3rd round and a 5th round picks, which are going to be numbers 78 and 152. So essentially Seattle, and this is per the Athletic. Again, I definitely can't not recommend the Athletic enough for you guys. This is per the Athletic. Essentially, Seattle will get his replacement for departed backup Drew Lock, who is out of Seattle. So in exchange for moving 24 spots back from the 3rd round to the 4th round and 27 spots back from the 5th round to the 6th round. So, a few ways to kind of look at this, right? Number one, the whole theory of them moving back is diminishing a little bit. Obviously, at number 2, the Washington Commanders are looking at taking quarterback. I mean, that's pretty much a given at this point. Now, who would they take? I think all arrows point towards Jaden Daniels. And obviously, me and Greg, we're going to put together a video going over the good, the bad, and the ugly of Jaden Daniels, man. But all arrows are pointing at Jaden Daniels. Now, could they still pick Drake May out of North Carolina? Absolutely. But I think that if you look at the skill set of Jaden Daniels, from his time at Arizona State and then transferring to LSU, he's a talent that we haven't had in DC since RG3. His ability to throw with accuracy, throw from power, his ability to, extend plays with his legs. I mean, outside of Caleb Williams, man, he's at this point, all arrows are pointing towards the Washington Commanders or whoever is at 2 picking up Jaden Daniels because, he was called a game changer by head coach Dan Quinn at the combine, man. And if you look at the tail to take, this kid can play some football. I mean, he is a dual threat quarterback. And if you look at the signing of Marcus Mariota, Marcus Mariota is a very similar player. He was also chosen number 2 overall out of Oregon, a dual threat guy where, if you look at the tail to tape, Jaden Daniels is a lot more accurate than Marcus Mariota. So the signing of Mariota to back up the eventual rookie quarterback, man, now it makes him a lot more sense. And I think we all knew that with the acquisition of Marcus Mariota, man, that Sam Howell was on his way out of town. There was rumors of the Jets looking at him, Denver looking at him, and ultimately, Seattle with him competing against Geno Smith or really trying to get the best out of Geno Smith. Who knows, man? It could be definitely a battle for the starting quarterback position in Seattle. But I mean, if you look at the extension signed by Geno Smith, I think Geno Smith is the de facto starting quarterback in Seattle. But Sam Howell on that rookie scale, man, he's definitely the future in Seattle. So, hey, man, thank you for your service. Hate him or love him, he played good football in DC. You can blame, why his performance went down, whether it was EB's fault, whether it was the old line, whether it was his tendency to hold on the ball a little too long. A lot of factors came to his performance kind of taking a dip, but I think we all can agree that he's got the intangibles to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and he's going to go to Seattle where under Mike McDonald, man, he's definitely going to get an opportunity going forward to showcase ability. So definitely thank you for your service, Sam Howell, man. Came in, played good football in DC, but look, the future is now, and right now Marcus Mariota is the backup, and we're looking at picking up a quarterback at number 2 now. Is that to say that the Washington Commanders still could not move back? Maybe pick up a Bo Nix, go get a left tackle with the 2nd overall. That could happen, but if you look at the skill set of Jaden Daniels now, a lot of rumors out there. Could the Commanders move on to get number 1? They could, but how much it would take to give it up, and we still got spots we need to shore up. I mean, wide receiver is definitely a position group that we need to reinforce. Curtis Samuel just signed with the Buffalo Bills, so Curtis Samuel's out the equation. De'Ami Brown, do they bring him back? And if they do, how effective could he be in his offense with Cliff Kingsbury? Brian Pringle's on the roster. So we definitely need to add 1, 2, maybe 3 wide receivers in this draft, because this is a heavy wide receiver draft. Obviously, cornerback, again, Kendall Fuller going to Miami. We definitely have a need at cornerback. And so, St. Juice, what do we really expect from him at number 2? Manuel Forbes, does he take that step forward? Does he put the work in to kind of get his value back up and really bring the trajectory of his career back? He's got some work, obviously, on and off the field. Obviously, he needs to get into the weight room, but not enough to really be a detriment to his speed. But we have a need at cornerback and wide receiver. Now, look, Adam Peters has done a great job reinforcing the D-line, the O-line, the linebacker group. This team is definitely heading in the right direction because we finally got adults in the room now, because Adam Peters has proven that he is that capable general manager who can do the job. If you look at his body of work in San Francisco and even New England, he knows how to build a team. He was in the room when they built up San Francisco, and he's done a great job not spending a lot of money, not breaking the bank, but definitely working on depth and finding guys who are ready to play in DC. And again, that linebacker group, man, Luvu is going to be a beast. Bobby Wagner, can't say enough. Jamie Davis, I definitely think he's going to take a step forward. So, getting back to Sam Howell and the quarterback position, I think that right now all arrows are pointing towards Jaden Daniels at number 2. I wouldn't rule out Drake May, even though there are some concerns around the league about his makeup, where he really fits in as far as draft placement. Is he really the guy at number 2? I think that right now Caleb Williams is number 1, and Jaden Daniels is one alpha pretty much. I mean, he's right below Caleb Williams. I mean, Jaden Daniels is a talent that, man, he's going to fit in well in DC if he indeed is the guy that we choose. So, again, Sam Howell is on his way to Seattle, which I think with this trade is definitely a win-win for both organizations, especially from a draft standpoint, kind of pick swaps. But Sam Howell's going to have the opportunity, with him being on the rookie scale contract, to maybe be the future in Seattle, because Geno Smith, he did sign an extension, but right now it looks like that Sam Howell could be their long-term prospect at quarterback. And as far as the Washington Commanders, a new era has started at quarterback. I think, if I'm willing to put money on it, is definitely Jaden Daniels. And that's who I would choose, man. Jaden Daniels is just a game changer. He would fit in well in DC. He would flourish underneath Cliff Kingsbury. And if you look at the fact that we have a brand new GM who's already proven that he can do the job, new ownership who believes in his team, who believes in his team getting back to being a contender, and a new head coaching staff where, on the defensive side, Joe Witt Jr. is ready to be that guy. Ball's life, man. He's definitely ready to be that guy on the defense, create a juggernaut on the defensive side. And Cliff Kingsbury, I hate him or love him, as a coordinator, he knows what he's doing as a coordinator. Now, as a head coach, the jury is still out. But as a coordinator, he is proven to get the most out of a quarterback. And Jaden Daniels, in my opinion, needs to be that guy at number 2. Now, if they could trade up. I don't see it. I think that number 2, Jaden Daniels is definitely the guy, man, and he's definitely going to be the quarterback who's going to lead this team into the future and the new era in Washington Commanders football. So, again, definitely appreciate you guys, man. Me and Greg, we're going to be your source for all free agency and draft-related news going into the offseason. And like I said, we very excited with the future. A lot of moves. I already covered it. Kenneth Fuller going to Miami on a 2-year deal, and Curtis Samuel is going to the Buffalo Bills, and Center Negates was formally released. So a lot of moves being made. Day 3 and day 1, not as aggressive as day 2, but Adam Peters, man, is definitely cooking like an air fryer, man. He's definitely making major moves in the district, man, and his team is looking pretty good. So obviously the draft is coming up, so we're going to definitely look at the quarterback position, the wide receiver position, and the cornerback position. Looking at draft prospects going forward. So definitely take a look out at that. Definitely this week coming up, within the next 2 to 3 weeks, man, we're going to do a lot of draft prospect videos. So definitely tune in for that, especially at quarterback. Definitely going to be comparing Jaden Daniels to Bo Nix and other quarterbacks that are slated to be first to second round picks. But like I said, if I'm going to put my money on it, Jaden Daniels will be the new quarterback for the Washington Commanders. So again, appreciate you guys, man. Any news tomorrow? We will be doing a recap video tomorrow for any free agent news or any news concerning the Washington Commanders. So again, appreciate you guys, man. Hail to the Commanders and peace. See you guys next time.